it became necessary for us to rethink the place of refugees in our society.
Sharing my thought, guys, so don't come up to me. So, hi guys, my name is Anania, a YouTuber living in Kampala, Uganda, sharing my thoughts with you in terms of business, in terms of my observation of what I've seen, just sharing with you what is happening on the ground. You know, sometimes it is on the ground where it shows first before it starts showing in the bigger scale of where the economics start observing and noticing growth or something. It is the small business person. When it's growing, it contributes toward the bigger economy. So when I see small businesses, someone starts something small and slowly growing it, seeing movement happening in terms of business and not stagnating, that's a good indicator. So that's what I'm sharing with you guys, what I observe. Hello guys, nice to see you again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Anania, an Eritrean YouTuber living in Kampala, Uganda. So join me as I show you around Chirombe, Zambia area. We're in Zambia, Chirombe, residential area. It's becoming busy, this area. It used to be quiet and slow, but now as shops are opening, residentials have come up, so more and more people have moved in. So it's become, there is the church, Eritrean Orthodox Church, St. Gabriel Orthodox Church. It's around 11, cool day. This is the entrance of the church. Many business centers. We are at Chirombe area. Where businesses are picking up, many shops are opening. I think I've been seeing a lot of change. You can see building there, a new building. The last 2 years, seeing a lot of growth and improvement in this area, especially this road. So this area of Lukuli, Gaba Road is mainly populated by Eritreans, Ethiopians, Sudanese, Somali, and even Ugandans. And just by a simple layman's eye view, you can see progress. I will not be advising in terms of economics, but just sharing my own experience. You can see a construction. When you see development, when you see shops being occupied more and more, just shows you there is some certain growth that is taking place. businesses here, especially in this age of 2025 when most Western countries are like saying business is slow, expecting recession. So amidst all that challenge, seeing people being able to cope here shows you in Africa there is growth that is happening, even on a smaller scale, as I'm showing you guys. It might be impacting the bigger economy. I was just checking also Uganda, you know, in East Africa, Kenya being the leading economy, followed by Tanzania and Uganda. But in terms of in 2024, 2025, it's showing even Uganda's. So in terms of current, these are South Sudanese also, current growth, although Kenya might have advanced way ahead before in many years back, but if you had to compare the current situation in terms of, from what I read, these are residential homes. I can say the growth is, the rate of growth is at the same level, and there's many reasons for that. I won't be the expert. This is a mall, Fig Tree House. We're just joining Gaba Road now, around UK Mall. So I was saying, I'm not the expert, economical expert, but just a layman's eyes view, and my thought is what I'm sharing with you guys here. So, and from the perspective of an Eritrean, why many Eritreans live in Uganda, and not only Eritrean, basically it's all refugees, because Uganda has been known for its policy for welcoming refugees for many years. And not only welcoming refugees, but also giving them the opportunity not to just stay in camps, but to be able to integrate in the society and to work and build something for themselves and contribute also to the economy of the country. So that has been a very attractive element towards Uganda. Towards Uganda. So you can see it's on a Tuesday, midday, cool day. That's the traffic, as you can see. So because of that welcoming nature, it has attracted different nationalities, refugees from Sudan, all the unstable nationality around this region has been welcomed by Uganda, Kampala. It's not only Kampala, but the whole of Uganda in general is welcoming to refugees. So I think that has contributed a lot to the influx of refugees, and can contribute also towards also business, because I believe this is, people, by the way, don't come at me, this is my personal thoughts and opinion. I'm not an economist. So, but because of that welcoming nature, because if I was to, what I used to hear when I was a kid, America was built from many nationalities, from different immigrants coming from different countries. So everyone will come with their own skill, and you know, to create that vibe. So I feel a smaller version of that is happening here in Kampala, Uganda. Because in our neighborhood, in our residential along Gaba Road, if you see, you can see Somalis, Sudanese, Ethiopian, Eritreans, each building their own small business and creating that mood and vibe, you know. So even recently I've just seen Kenya, you know, in terms of refugee, their policy was more of locating the refugees in the camp area, and even in the past they were sharing about, because of the insecurity of refugees might create insecurity in the country. They're even thinking of shutting down receiving refugees in the past. But I'm excited to hear that the current president, Mr. President William Ruto, has just launched what is called Shirika project, and that involves welcoming refugees, and not only welcoming refugees, but a new look into hosting refugees in terms of not just isolating them in camp, but integrating them with the local community and building projects that can support and sustain coherent existence with local community, and as well as for the refugees to use their skills and their talent to build something for themselves. So I think the Shirika plan is more in the direction of welcoming refugees in Kenya and giving them residence and being able to integrate with the local communities and not just to live in camps.
I am honored to join you for this official launch of Shirika Plan. As a tradition, we warmly welcome all visitors, understanding that they arrive in our land by different routes for different reasons. Solidarity with people fleeing their threats to life and freedom is a long-standing tradition that aligns with our society's obligation to receive all people with consideration and empathy. That global displacement of persons is approaching unprecedented levels. We also clearly appreciate that traditional humanitarian-only approaches are no longer sufficient, and the possibility of resettlement remains elusive. Under these challenging conditions, we must adopt a development-oriented model anchored in sustainability, inclusion, and resilience in order to continue to uphold the safety and dignity of displaced persons and to make them in some way to feel at home. Accordingly, the Shirika Plan is our bold, homegrown solution which amplifies the African Union's call for African solutions not only to Africa's problems, but also global challenges as well. As was said here ably by the Minister and by the Deputy President, we can confidently say this is a Kenyan invention. We have been a host country for 30 plus years, and in the 30 years, we've come to understand this challenge in a better way. We've come to appreciate refugees better, and we have come to understand that the problem is not the refugee, the problem could be elsewhere. We began as government of Kenya to rethink the relationship between refugees and the host communities. And this plan is a response by the government of Kenya on how we can translate refugees and the host community's relationship into a win-win relationship. The plan's strategy to transform refugee camps into integrated settlements gives inclusion a new expression by promoting the creation of opportunity in a manner that intentionally benefits refugees and host communities in the same way. The adoption of the comprehensive refugee response framework, the inclusion of refugees in county development plans, and their integration into public education, healthcare, and financial systems. It became obvious to us that containing refugees in camps people who could, many of them could possibly have ideas, they are knowledgeable, people who could deploy their energy, expertise, and resource into the development of the country, was not the best way to relate with the refugees. And therefore, it became necessary for us to rethink the place of refugees in our society. This plan attempts to respond to some of the concerns the communities have been experiencing or have raised over the years. It was untenable to continue the relationship the way it was, and therefore this plan attempts to rethink. And we think this plan is not just a Kenyan invention. Once we roll out with the support of all the partners that have been working with us, including the international community, and I'm very happy Filippo is here to put his sign of approval from the UN community, that we could look at this template as being the relationship going into the future with host communities and refugees, not just in Kenya, not just in our region, but also globally. Ladies and gentlemen, I now declare the Shirika Plan officially launched, and I thank you very much for your attention, and God bless you.
And that is an exciting news towards, because today's African problem can be solved by Africans, I believe. So Europe has its own challenge, America has its own challenge. And even from what I hear online and such, people who are in the West, in America, they would like even to invest in Africa, because in general Africa is the developing nation. There's a lot of potential in terms of development. So us, as we are programmed, we would like to go to the West, to America, and build something for ourselves. But in true sense, that can also happen here in Africa. All you need is that initial boost, initial capital idea of picking yourself and slowly building yourself. Because Africa has it all in terms of resource, in terms of climate, in terms of living cost. The only thing is just that starting point, that that takeoff, whereby you're starting from nothing to building something small and slowly growing it. So from what I've seen in Kampala, I used to hear Kampala is one of the countries that, not Kampala, sorry, Uganda in general, with the highest business startup. So it's a place where it's like welcoming towards business in terms of the policies. And even as an East African country, it's well known, it's not as ahead as Kenya, but because of that also has a lot of potential towards that growth. So I see many Eritreans, Ethiopians, Sudanese, because there is instability in their countries, the next point they think is where they can settle, where there is peace. And once they get that peace, they want to work, and they come with their skills, with their ambitions, with their creativity. So that is what has been happening. So on a smaller scale, I see positive influence towards that, but not just on that alone. Uganda, as you see, it is increasing its coffee production in terms of export. It has minerals that is exporting. So I think slowly, it's also picking up with its neighboring countries. So I don't know. There are people from the West, I see them coming to Uganda, checking it out, and also mentioning Kenya having similar facilities like America, almost access and comfort as if they are in America. That's why they would like to settle there. Kampala might be a bit behind in terms of development, but Also, that is an indicator of possible potential of being market leader in terms of growing something from the ground slowly up to the level where it can be world class. So I like Uganda personally, if I was to recommend. So as I was saying, so when you see African leaders taking care of refugees from Africa, that shows you a good sign, a positive sign on the leadership and how they are thinking of going forward, because this could be resources that can contribute towards the growth of Africa in general, because I believe the weakest link, when you take care of it, then you get strengthened. I don't know, I might remove this part. I'm just sharing my thought, guys, so don't come up to me. So, hi guys, my name is Anania, a YouTuber living in Kampala, Uganda, sharing my thoughts with you in terms of business, in terms of my observation of what I've seen, just sharing with you what is happening on the ground. You know, sometimes it is on the ground where it shows first before it starts showing in the bigger scale of where the economics start observing and noticing growth or something. It is the small business person. When it's growing, it contributes toward the bigger economy. So when I see small businesses, someone starts something small and slowly growing it, seeing movement happening in terms of business and not stagnating, that's a good indicator. So that's what I'm sharing with you guys, what I observe in terms of small growths, what I notice. I like the fact I see in Kampala, everyone is moving, you know. However small that is making, there's movement. So that movement is an indication of potential growth in the coming years. So I'm happy about what Kenya have also decided in their Shirika plan, because America, even if you see it, its past histories, is people who came from other countries who also contributed towards the growth of the economy. So it's not always negative, but you can also find the positive side of everything. I'm sure everything has its bad side and good side, but I believe is to strengthen the good side, to maximize the good side as you find solution for the bad side of it. So I'm sure Uganda hosting refugees might have some challenges in terms of to the local communities and such, but those are challenges that can be worked on. So I hope our leaders will find solution for those challenges and will not give up on such welcoming ideas of helping other refugees and seeing how to work together in terms of strengthening each other. At the end of the day, we're all Africans. And not only Africans, we are all humans, you know. So as a human, I believe the way God created Earth, it can sustain everyone. It's just that when we have wrong people holding on to wealth and holding on to resources, it makes it seem as if there is not enough for everyone, and that's when you go into the mindset of hours. But in the long run, it also affects you in return. So let's find out on how we can work together as humans all over the world. You can see right now in the US how, because of certain decisions, how it is triggering, you know, backlashes and even economic. I was seeing, like, just checking on the trade, how it's going down. So Just sharing with you guys my thoughts. Nothing too serious, just as human beings, sharing the basics and encouraging each other. So thank you so much for watching. For those who have watched, thank you. For those who have told me to also venture outside this neighborhood, I intend to do that. It's just that, as they say, you start home, cover your neighborhood, your surrounding, and slowly you expand the viewers and you expand the coverage of the content that you're covering. I'm also an upcoming YouTuber, by the way. I've just started recently, so there's a lot of learning and growth on my end that is happening also. So please bear with me. Don't judge my mistakes, but we can recommend and advise as we grow together. So just what I want to share with you guys. I will also put a small clip of where the president also was sharing about the Shirika project. I hope it will take effect very soon and many will benefit from it. So let us move along as we share our thoughts as well. Even as I share the surrounding environment, what's happening. This building has just been opened in Kampala As. It was under construction, now it has finalized, so in a few days you'll see it is fully occupied. Even there are already tenants because it's strategic location. So that is the growth basically in this area. A bit of traffic, midday. KFC is here. So even international American companies are seeing the potential. So as Africans, we should also take advantage of that. Look at the construction that is happening there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a huge building that is coming up just opposite Kingsgate, one of the popular well-built buildings also. See development happening. So guys, don't think Europe all the time, America. Let us work and grow Africa as well as Africans. This building was built when I was watching the GS, and now there's a building next week also coming up. So guys, sharing with you guys my basic simple layman's thoughts in terms of business growth and development. So don't take this too serious. Let the expert also advise you, but this is my thoughts. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. Leave your comments and thoughts. Let's share our ideas and see how we can grow as individuals. See you in the next video.